Hi there, this is Krista Moon, president of Moon Marketing, and one of the things that I'm most passionate about is blogging. And the content's a whole separate conversation, but what I want to talk to you about today is the layout and structure of your blog. There's a certain style and strategy that I keep gravitating toward when I'm working with clients and creating their blog structure and blog layout. And I was curious to see how other people did it. So I went out and I compared 17 other blogs, and I'll show you what I found. Okay, let's get started. So here's how I laid out the guide. At the top, I've got the name of the blog. I've got a close-up of the blog listing page and then a full page view of the blog listing page. And this is my blog, and I wanted to start with this because it has all the features and functions that I think are important. I'm going to explain to you why, and then I'll just scroll through and show you a couple other pages so you can see how other blogs compare. I like this format because, it's not super fancy or anything like that, and I think that's okay because it's easy to read. That's the main thing for me. Can you see the titles? Do you know where to click read more? It's consistent in the image sizes and everything like that. So that works out nicely. I've got an option for people to subscribe. If they like my articles and want to get updated when I write new ones, they can subscribe. If they don't like email marketing and want to stay connected to me on social media, they can do that because they can get access to my articles there. I got popular articles. I've got a search function because I have hundreds of articles on my blog. And that's an easy way if people want to, try to search for something. And then I have the topics, which to me is really important because when I'm selling, I use my blogs to support my sales process and to help move prospects through the sales funnel. So if I'm talking to somebody about email marketing and they have a question, or a lot of times they'll say, well, I don't want to send a lot of email because my customers, they don't like that and they're going to unsubscribe. Well, I have tons of articles that talk more about that, so I can just go to email marketing, find the article I want, and send it to my prospect to help reinforce my position. So I'm a firm believer that your blog should be a sales tool and a sales library. So it needs to be organized in a way that your sellers can quickly and easily find articles that they can send to prospects. So that's why I do it like that. So when you look at other blogs, like this is another one here, which is pretty similar to mine. It's got round images instead of square images. It's got centered titles instead of left justified titles. So there's a couple of design issues. I think in this case it's more, aesthetically, what do you like? But you'll see that this guy, he's got some call to actions on the side. And you can definitely add call to actions on the side, but on the flip side, and why I don't do that personally, is because I want people to stay focused on my articles. And I use the call to actions on the inside of the blog, not on the right hand column. I think it can be a little distracting, and how you design it could be cluttery. But this isn't too bad. Here's another one that's pretty simple. They have more copy on the blog listing page than others, and they do have some call to actions here. I think that's a search. I chose Google News because I figured if anybody knows how to attract and engage with website users, it's Google. So you can see that they have some menu items on the side here, and then they just have the blogs listed out very simply in a list with a small image. And their side column, it's not too bad. It's not like all the thing is when you have so many images, sometimes I feel like it can be overwhelming. It's almost easier sometimes just to be careful with how many images that you have. But this makes it pretty easy to read. It's not too bad. This is Business Insider, and they have a lot going on here on the side, which is kind of distracting a little bit to me personally. But they have nice big images and then the title, but they don't have any of the copy underneath, to support the article. So you just really have to go only off the title, which that's not so bad, but I just think it's a little bit, for me personally, cluttery. And it's interesting how they do 3 big images And then they do two little ones, a big one, too little, a big, a too little. So this is their style and their format. Gary Vaynerchuck, this is very masculine looking, which is fine because he's a guy. Makes sense. But again, it's very heavy on the images. And so, but you know, to each his own, I guess. But he does have a subscribe option, which is good. Upcoming events. So he's got some things on the side to help drive people to other areas of the website. And then he's got the image with some copy down here. He does have some social share in here. Not every blog has social share, but he's got the social share. And this is how it looks, you know, throughout. So he just got these few call to actions, and then you keep scrolling, and these probably stay, I would imagine, on the side. Entrepreneur, this is a little different because they have advertisements, and I think personally for me, you got to be really careful when you're doing advertisements, because if the page takes a lot longer to load, and I don't trust sites as much when they have tons of ads on it. I mean, you have to be a really big name. This is Entrepreneur. Did I say Business Insider? I'm not sure. But this is Entrepreneur, you know, big time magazine. But it's a little bit chaotic for me. I don't really know what to do with all these ads and stuff. The main part of the page doesn't stick out at me, so I don't know where to click or where to read. This is HubSpot's. And they have their subscribe button here. And I don't know. I'm not super hot about it myself. I'm not really hot on the tiled version. But again, you know, personal preference. It's not too bad. It's pretty easy to see. They focus on titles. They don't do any more than titles, which, you know, that's interesting. I don't think you probably do need all that copy. I like Cesar's blog. Cesar Millan. I have a new puppy, so I've been reading a lot about dog training. It's simple, and it's easy on the eyes, easy to read, but it's missing some things. It doesn't have any subscribe option. It's got social media up here, which is good, and a search, which is fine, but I'm not seeing like a subscribe option. So I'm not going to go through like tons more. This is Dr. Berg. I listen to him a lot. He's a health guy. And he does videos, and that's all he does. So his blog is just like video after video. And Huffington Post. This is kind of interesting the way they have it structured. I mean, they've got different styles down throughout the entire page. I threw this one in here just because it's pastel. So we saw Gary Vaynerchuck's, which is very masculine. And then this is very feminine, so it kind of shows you the difference in how you can use color to instill feelings or, you know, in the way that your blog looks. And the other thing that's interesting about the Moz blog is that they have their subscribe button down here in the middle of it. If it were me, I might put that to the top, but the tiled version here is similar to Cesar Millan's. I don't think it's too bad. I mean, it's very consistent throughout the page. And here's another more pastel one. This one's Salesforce. And they have their subscribe up at the top like that. But it's a button you click, so not a form you actually fill out. So there's just some things to think about. And I don't see their social media on here. TechCrunch. It's kind of like, whoa. I think it's this article, Snapchat image that's kind of throwing. Well, partly one of the reasons why it's thrown off, but it's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Like it's all over the place, it seems like to me at the top. Not really getting why this sticks up like that over top of the image myself, but. And the Wall Street Journal, I just threw a newspaper on here. Do I have? Oh yeah, and I got the New York Times too. So you can see how newspapers do it. I mean, that's their business, is creating articles. I don't know, you'd want to create your blog like this because they have a lot of information, but I just thought it'd be interesting to look at, so I threw it on there. So that is my guide, blog layout examples, and you can take this and use it to help you create your own blog layout. All right, thanks. We'll see ya. Bye.